Well, hey everybody. I'm Crystal Crawford, if you haven't met me yet, and I'm actually here with Sylvia Kasuma. Hey, Sylvia.
Hi.
And we are just finishing actually a round of a class called Becoming a Great Facilitator of Yourself. And I asked some of the people that came and played this last round to just have a conversation with me about what's changed and what the class was for them. And Sylvia volunteered, which was amazing. So, Sylvia, like, where would you like to start with this conversation?
Wow. Well, where to
Well,
start? That's a good question.
Well,
Which
it's a good question. I know, yeah. So, like, when you look at like how who you came in as, I mean, because this is it's a 10-week class, and we're just about to hit week 10 next week. So, I mean, it it takes you through a chunk of life, and you look at what life is like or what it's like to be you now. Do you notice anything different? Does anything stand out?
yeah. Well, before this, so prior the 10 weeks, I've noticed that I wasn't kind to myself, but I didn't quite sure when. And for me, this class already started when I said yes to it. And I remember like, oh, maybe like, oh, maybe lunch hour, I started to be unkind, or what you're writing now, are you being a dick to yourself? Or like, yeah, then I starting that. And I realized, no, I started when I woke up. I'm like, oh, darn. And that's how I started. And now I'm more aware about where or when I'm starting to be unkind to myself instead of being in the rabbit hole or the spiral down, and then it's like that's usually before this, that's usually happens, and I'm like, oh, I need to call, but it was already been on the bottom.
You were already like in the bottom of the hole by
Yeah,
then, right?
yeah, or that. And now it's much more like, oh, wait. Sometimes it feel
Wait,
like,
it's happened. I'm
oh
doing the thing.
yeah, yeah. Wait, I'm not going to fall more down. Something like that.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
that's huge. Because I mean, you and I've had a lot of conversations over the years that have known you, and
yeah,
doubt, and which is just unkindness to yourself. Like doubting you is the most unkind thing you can do. Like if you as an infinite being, know and be and perceive and receive, but what you're functioning as is just doubting every single thing that you choose or comes out of your mouth or doesn't come out of your mouth or whatever, like you can't even, like it's so hard to function. So I'm just grateful. Because
yeah.
every time I would talk to you, I mean, what I see in you is so different from what you see as you. And that was really the whole thing with this class of like you guys you're with you all the time. Like, what would it take to be with you in a way that was actually empowering and kind and present, instead of this other thing that we keep doing, which is sort of using the questions to whatever, come to a conclusion or,
Or beat yourself up.
yeah,
Well, that's
yeah,
like probably just me.
it's just you. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So would you say that's the biggest thing that's changed for you? That's huge. Is
Oh
there
gosh,
anything else that sticks out?
gosh.
That may be it. I'm just poking.
It's a lot. Well,
It
it's
is a
like,
lot. I'm like, that's a
yeah,
huge
like
chunk
I
of.
have to only choose one. No, well, to me, it's like also like just like I said before, I know that I'm hard to myself. I know that these tools are working perfectly, and I'm doing a very good contribution to other people, but not to myself. And I was wondering, well, how to do that by myself. And also with these 10 weeks, I mean, it's amazing 10 weeks because we meet once a week, and we got to play with each other, and also we get home play. Um, and so you can just start practicing toward yourself, and that is huge. I mean, I love the big classes of Access, even if it doesn't matter if it's from Dane or Gary, and then you got to start to work also for yourself. and that is, well, it's been difficult because I mean, I've been playing with access classes, I mean, access tools for a long time. Also attending a lot of access classes. I mean, since 2012 or something. And but that it's sometimes it felt like a gap between the two classes. And now with these 10 weeks, it's like, oh wait, there it is, there it is. And for me, it was a huge opportunity to just look at my own life and also on daily life, because you, in the beginning, it was like, oh, okay, next week. And then I think it was, I don't know which week. And I was like, oh, wait, home play. What's the home play? Oh, be aware, be present. Okay. Oh, wait, I don't like that myself.
I don't like that home play.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that part of myself either. I don't like the home play. Can you skip it? And I remember that I'm not quite sure if it's for me or someone else. And then you ask like, well, wait a minute, did we had this conversation before? I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't do my home play. That's why I'm asking the same question again.
That's cool. I like what you said about having the practice in between the big classes, because that I didn't know that that was sort of a different thing to, I mean, I basically like immerse myself in the tools, but I'm also like have this big demand in my world for, you know, a life that really works for me. And for me, like there's a lot of fixed points of view to like out create, you know? And so, but I would take the tools and I would practice them and I would play with them and I would take them and I would use them in different ways. And so I remember actually Stephanie starting to hang out with her more, and she mentioned, she's like, oh, you play with that in a really different way. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I just look at it and then I flip it over this way and then I flip it over this way. And what does it do here? And what can I do with it here? And that's really where this class got created, was like, what would it take to create a class that actually invited you to be with you what I invite myself to be with people all the time? Because it's easier to be it with other people than it is with yourself, right? Like we're meanest to ourselves. We're unkindest to ourselves. So the greater choice in any moment is actually being kind to you. It's like, what does that be like? What do you choose? What do you ask yourself even to instigate that kindness from you to you in any given moment? That's good.
That's
Cool.
awesome. And also, this is all different class because I have attended so many classes from you and also from years.
Yes.
And this one is so different. It is an access class. We call it an access class, that we can use the tools of access and we use clearings, etc. But somehow it's not like the other classes. Is much more like, okay, this is my shit. Can we just look at it? And you were like, well, okay, that's really your shit, or you know, it's so different kind of questions. It's not like, Crystal, this is my shit. Here, can we change it? And you were like, okay. And that makes it so different, because it's not because you facilitate so different in this class than other classes.
Yeah, because my target with this one, well, what I was creating with this was like the place where you could hear yourself and then go, okay, well, if you were being a great facilitator of yourself here, what would you choose? Really opening up the space of like, nothing's actually real. We just make all these things real and they feel real. And I get it. I woke up this morning and I had some stuff that felt real. But having this information in my world was like, okay, none of this is real. So that it instigates different choices, you know? So if none of this is real and I'm operating like it's real, then what would I like to choose? What's actually required here, you know? It brings it back to choice immediately. And that was the thing I didn't really get in the early days, was the target of these tools is to empower you to choose. Yeah. That's it. Because choice creates. So we can just as easily, some of our most automatic choices are to go to doubt or to go into judgment. And, you know, those definitely didn't feel like choices to me in the beginning. And still today, I wake up and I'm doing something that still I'm not acknowledging as a choice. And so but now I can catch myself. And I think that's the gift of these tools. And I've heard Gary say that over and over. He's like, the gift of awareness of a limitation is that it empowers you to make another choice.
Yeah.
And so many of the times we're doing classes to like clear out, which those are still valuable, like having classes that clear out big whack loads of points of view, incredibly valuable, because you get out of that class and you're just different. But then you're in your life and you're cleared, like it's cleared now. Now what do you want to create, right? And in the creation of something is also when all this stuff pops up. What are you going to do with that then? You know, do we pause and do we take a 5-day class every time that happens? Do we build ourselves a nest in the hill, in the side of a hill and hide? Do we, you know, crawl away and commit suicide because we're so terrible? Or do we begin to use these tools in a way that continues to empower us on a daily basis to create whatever it is we're creating?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just curious. So, how is this class been for you?
For me, this class has been one of the biggest gifts that I've chosen so far. I mean, I do a lot of classes and I love them all for all different kinds of reasons. This one in particular gave me, you said I facilitated different, and I did. And it was so interesting because just the topic itself invited that different kind of facilitation, which it was, it's not my job to fix anything for you. You're not broken, right? Like it just invited me to be in that space of like, you're not broken. We're not broken here. There's just something going on in your world right now that feels real to you. So it created for me a space where I was choosing just to empower everybody much more easily, I think, than I've chosen before. And watching you guys in this class and watching things change more quickly, like just change, like they just changed, was like, oh, that's facilitation. And that's what facilitation means, is to render easy. Facilitate something, like actually render something easy. And I think as a new facilitator, or a lot of us, or I know I did for sure, you know, there's a lot of proving and wanting to make sure we do a good job and do good facilitation and make sure we clear all the shit, because that's our job, you know. And the more that I use the tools myself, the more I was like, well, I want to be empowered. So what would it take to like empower myself? And what would it take to be even more empowering, you know, in all the ways with other people? And so it was game changing for me personally. It was also really game changing to watch you guys just become more of you, like become just the gifts that you already are.
Yeah. And I like it also that there's different kind of participants are in the class, and I don't mean like Americans or French or Dutch people, whatever. It's much more like someone like me who has attended a lot of access classes, but also someone who's just been CF, or someone who has been CF for a while. It's everybody needs something that they know how to use tools for themselves.
Yeah.
And not against themselves. And that's where we already been good at, against ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said many times, but I love it, the example of like, you can use a hammer to build a house and you can use a hammer to bash your head in. It's the same tool, different use, you know.
Yeah.
How are you using it? What would you actually like to create? What would you actually like to choose to be with yourself? And what could you choose to support that in your world?
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed the conversation that I have with myself is different, really different. So
That's so cool.
yeah, so grateful for this. Yeah.
Me too. And thank you for this, and thank you for having the conversation with me, and just for everything you contribute. Huge.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And for those, oh, you go.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for those of you guys watching, that if you have any questions on the class or any of it, and you want to come play, you can message Sylvia, you can message me, we can get you the information. And did you want to talk, Sylvia?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the next round, and I already write it down. I know haven't write it down, but I'm just looking at what would I like to create for the next round. So yeah,
Cool.
looking forward. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sylvia. And I will see everybody where I see you. Bye.